Today we're going to be revisiting the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL 2 months later after the updates, and this phone has been awesome to use, guys. I've been using this phone a lot this year. As soon as it came out, I used it to film all of my shorts. As you guys can see, I got them all in here. So I typically use Pixel phones to, take pictures with if I'm going somewhere or just to film content with. I actually really prefer the cameras over the iPhone and the Galaxy phone. So I do really like the camera system in here. So let's actually go ahead and talk about that. So the cameras on here are still pretty much my favorite cameras, of this year. This got a 15 megapixel standard, 48 megapixel periscope telephoto. You have the 5x optical zoom now, and you can go to 30 times zoom. Now, of course, it's not going to be as good as a Galaxy phone when it comes to the 30 times and just giving you those zoom shots, but you have a 48 megapixel ultra wide. It shoots in 8K 30. It has a 42 megapixel selfie camera that shoots in 4K 60. I really like the way the video comes out. I really like the way the still photography comes out. I love the way the skin tones come out as well too. The cameras do excellent in low light. Whatever, like, it is gonna do a fantastic job. So I'm always really impressed with the Pixel phones, and I always say that if you are into taking photos, I just highly recommend the Pixels for me. And I think video is very solid. Like, iPhones and Galaxies are great, but I just really like the way the video looks on the Pixel. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I could never stop using these phones strictly just because of the cameras, guys. So highly recommend it there. This phone has gotten a lot of pushback for looking a lot like the iPhone, at least from like the sides and the overall feel of the phone. And I agree. I picked this phone up thinking it was the 16 Pro Max multiple times. Like, I do it all the time. This phone, it just looks like an iPhone except for the camera island here. But I really like the design this year. I think this is one of their best designs of all time. We got this matte finish here. I think the camera island is beautiful. I think it's grown on me so much that I like it better than the Pixel 8 Pro's design. And the only thing with the sides is that I do really like the way the sides look. It's just that they pick up a lot of fingerprints, but it gives it a very classy kind of premium feel to it. So I don't mind it, even though you have to wipe it down a lot, but I do like that kind of classy feel to it. As far as the button placement, a lot of people don't like this setup here. You get used to it after a while. It's really not a big deal. I think it's the volume rockers that people don't like. They want it pushed down or over on the other side, which is understandable, because you can kind of sometimes hit this thinking it's the power button, but it'll take like maybe a week or two for you to like train your brain to know exactly where to hit the button. So I don't think that's actually like a big deal. All right, so here's the thing with the Pixels and the overall processor and gaming experience. The processor is perfectly fine, guys. You will not have an issue with the processor here. It's fast, it's not overheating or anything like that. We have the Tensor G4 on here, 128 gigs of internal storage, 16 gigs of RAM. The biggest issue you will run into is if you are a competitive gamer. Unfortunately, I was waiting to kind of see if like the games would update for the processor, but the thing is that they typically don't. Even for the Pixel 8 Pro, 7 Pro, they've never really kind of like optimized the games for the Tensor chips. So we pretty much have 60 frames only on this phone. So that's my only issue with this phone, like kind of recommending it to like anybody who's a competitive gamer. The Galaxy S24 Ultra, or even if you get like an S24 Plus, that phone will have 120 frames, iPhone 120 frames. So it would be nice for Google to kind of like work with these game companies, or at least like the major ones like PUBG and Call of Duty, Fortnite, whatever, and kind of get the Tensor chip to be a little bit more optimized for gaming, because I think that maybe a lot of people, or maybe not a lot, but anybody who is into competitive gaming, I feel like they're kind of missing out on that market, because yeah, you just won't get those frame rates. You won't even get 90 frames on this phone. But with that being said, if you're a casual gamer like me, you're not really in here playing like hours on PUBG and Call of Duty. You just maybe a match or two. Playing at 60 frames is perfectly fine, and PUBG looks great. It runs perfectly fine on here. All right, so even for a game like San Andreas, we got the visual effects at max, and it looks really good. It plays great. So there's not, any games that I have been able to, not play. Everything's been working perfectly fine here. So I would say if you are a casual gamer, I think the Pixel 9 Pro XL is perfectly fine. If you're more on the competitive side and you really play a lot of games, Genshin, you want to play PUBG at really high settings, then obviously you're not going to get the Pixel. You're going to get, an iPhone or Galaxy or something like that. So hopefully with the next Pixel, we'll see better optimization for these games. Maybe because Google is so focused on the AI stuff that I think they don't really care about the game and stuff. Let's talk about the display here. This is still a really good display here this year. I don't have any issues with the panel. It is a 6.8-inch LTPO OLED display, 120 Hz HDR10 plus, 3000 nits peak brightness. So outdoors, this display looks really good. It's super bright as well. And yeah, no real issues here. 1344 by 2992 resolution. You got respectable bezels on here, 486 for the PPI. The Gorilla Glass Victus 2. Honestly, not that impressive. I do have like some scratches on my screen, and I've been really careful with this phone. Still got scratches. So, these screen upgrades that they do every year is honestly, and it's for all phones, right? Like iPhone, Galaxy, they claim that these screens are getting tougher, but I'm telling you, any little scratch or anything like that is like keys will easily like scuff up the screen. It doesn't even have to be like you just like scratching it on purpose or anything like that lightly. It could be like you just put it in your pocket and your keys were in your pocket, and then it just kind of scratch it up. I have like 2 of them right here and right here. You can't really see them, so they're not like bad, but yeah, I just noticed like every year they claim the screens are getting tougher, but I can't, you can never tell. The speakers on the Pixel 9 Pro XL have been really good this year. So the speakers are really good. I think the best upgrade this year that makes this phone feel a lot faster is the fingerprint scanner. It's a lot faster this year, and man, it just makes a big difference here. It gives it that really nice premium experience, them upgrading from the optical fingerprint scanner. So speakers, fingerprint scanner is great. The face unlock is still fast. It works perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and touch on battery life. So the battery life has been very good here. It is a 5060 milliamp hour battery. We have 37 watt charging, which is not really that fast. And then we also do have 23 watt wireless charging with the Pixel stand, and then 12 watt wireless charging with your standard charger. And then you also do have your reverse wireless charging on here. So battery life has been very good on here. I have not had any issues with screen on time. This is definitely an all-day phone for sure. So, even if I'm just filming a lot of videos, you can easily get through the day with the Pixel, no problem, even if you're doing some gaming. So battery life and screen on time has just been pretty good. Standby time pretty decent as well too. For this price point, they're coming down a little bit in price here. This is probably a phone that you want to look at for like Black Friday, to see what kind of deals you get. But I think this is going to be a phenomenal buy if you guys decide to purchase this device. There's nothing that I don't really like about this phone. On top of that, you get these 7 years of MajorOS updates as well too, which is going to be very nice. So the phone's going to have a very long lifespan. So what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.